Okay. Um, all right, just not to waste anybody's time. I know that not everybody could join us today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Hope Rindall, and I'll be your instructor for Biology 242, which is Anatomy and Physiology 2. This class is a DE, distance education class, so everything is online. It's fully remote, fully asynchronous, meaning that we don't have scheduled meeting times. I will maybe make a poll later this week and see the times that people are most available for office hours, or I'm always available to meet with people kind of one-on-one or in small groups if the times that I've posted for office hours don't work for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just show us around our Canvas page. Okay, so everything that you need for this quarter can be found on the Canvas page. If one of you that are here wouldn't mind putting like the thumbs up emoji, just letting me know that you can see the Canvas page, that would be great. Or let me know if you can't. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here's our Canvas page. It's broken down into 5 major sections. So there's the lectures and active learning module questions. So this is like the video lectures that I've recorded that go along with the weekly reading. And I've listed what those chapters are in the 2 recommended texts. After that are the labs. Our labs will all be done through Visible Body, and I've heard from a few of you that needed the access code, and I've sent those out. So if you're having any problem with the Visible Body lab platform, let me know. We can talk about that. Also, typically in a regular quarter, we do 4 case study discussions. Because this is kind of an abbreviated quarter, I'm going to just recommend 2 case study discussions. And then there's weekly quizzes, which they're not really weekly. They're a little bit less than weekly, but all of the dates are posted. And then there's 3 short answer tests. So that's where all of the components of this class come from. So first, I'll show you the syllabus here. The syllabus quiz is actually the first thing that's due. So all of the information that you need for the syllabus quiz can be found here. So this is kind of like frequently asked questions, everything on Canvas. If you need any help, any IT help, even Skagit will lend out different technology. I know that they will help fix or replace personal computers, or they have laptops that they will lend you. So if you have any needs, the e-learning department at Skagit's very helpful. Also, disability access services, if you have any questions about that, the contact for that. Financial aid, all of that can be found here. Let's just open the actual syllabus here. Maybe. Here, hang on, let me get rid of this. Let's again. Here. Okay. Put this over here. Okay, here's the actual syllabus. So here's all the information. Again, everything that was there on that other page, point breakdown, where all of the points come from. Basically, everything that we're going to go through today can also be found here. This will be really important. This is our tentative schedule. Again, this is typically a 10-week quarter where we cover 10 units. We have just over 9 weeks, so most of the sections are 4, 5, 6-day sections. And then here, the bets text and the holes text. So bets is the open stack text that is free for everyone here. So if you just go to OpenStack and then look for Anatomy and Physiology, that is the recommended text. The text that I use for the PowerPoint lectures, all of the images from the PowerPoint lectures that you'll see me lecture on come from this Holes Anatomy and Physiology. I've had a few students ask if they could use different textbooks, and that's fine. I'm sure that the content is all going to be very similar. It would just be your responsibility to make sure that you are locating the content, the numbering, the chapter numbering is probably going to be different. Okay, so syllabus here in case you have any questions. And again, the syllabus quiz is the first assignment that you'll have due. So let's look at that. So let's go here to home. So the first thing that you have under weekly quizzes is the syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is actually due tomorrow. So this just ensures that everybody is accessing the Canvas page and able to complete this. Most of you have taken this already. So go ahead and take this syllabus quiz as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions. So let's just go through this kind of in order. So the first thing that you're gonna see on our Canvas page, I have all of these kind of shrunk down, but it might look like this to you. So I'm just gonna shrink these back. So there's lectures and active learning module questions. So you're gonna, for every unit, you're gonna watch the video lecture that I've recorded for the content, also along with having read the content in the text, and you're going to answer the questions that go along with it, and you're going to submit that. So let's just look, for example, at our first unit, which is on the endocrine system. So you could come here, click here, and it's going to say, this is the lecture and textbook active learning module reading assignment for the endocrine system. So it says first, click, watch these videos either by clicking or copying and pasting. This insulin resistant Stanford medicine, this is optional. There won't be any questions about this. It's just kind of a good illustration to some of the stuff that we're talking about. I'm going to click on this here in a second, but it says next, write a short paragraph. This really doesn't need to be a paragraph. It can be kind of a sentence or two in most cases, to answer these questions in your own words. So I certainly know that you can copy and paste all of this stuff from somewhere. You can ask ChatGPT and just copy and paste all of that. So I would encourage you to look in the syllabus about academic honesty and plagiarizing, making sure that you are not copying and pasting anything, and that you are answering each of these questions in your own words. So these active learning module questions are just making sure that you're getting the big picture of each of these topics as we're covering them. Probably what I would do is I would copy and paste each of these questions into the text box and then just type it in there. Or you could copy and paste this into a Word document or a Google document and complete it in there. I'm really not fussy about how you submit this, but you can answer these questions. So this is the lecture video for the endocrine system. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. I just went to the, hang on. I skipped to the next video for blood. Okay, pause. So here is my lecture on the endocrine system. This one's about 30 minutes long. So these are each pretty abbreviated. It's not going to go into a ton of detail. This is kind of meant to supplement your reading and is just going to kind of give you the big picture. So feel free to, you can make the speed faster or slower, however you want. And this will take you through the parts of the lecture. So that's the lecture. So you'll click on this and watch the lecture. And then from the lecture, you'll be able to answer these questions. And then you'll upload it. So these are due at the end of each section. with an online class, especially during a summer session that's a little bit abbreviated, it's very important that you stick to the schedule. If you start to get even a few days behind, it will just snowball and compound over the whole quarter. So you can see that this is due on January 6th. It's available to, sorry, July 6th. It's available to July 13, but it is due on July 6th. So there is a little bit of a grace period here, but please stay on the schedule so you're not just trying to dig yourself out of a hole with each new unit. So that's the lecture. So for each of these units, you'll watch the video and then you'll answer those active learning module questions. The next piece of the course is the lab. And again, since this is a completely remote class, everything will be done on visible body. So let's just open this up here. This is also due on July 6th. So here's our first lab on the endocrine system. It says we will be creating a photographic atlas in this class. And it says you will submit your micrographs, which are going to be the pictures that you're going to take with your mobile phone using your microscope. This is using the microscope in visible body. So we're not doing, this is a little different than if it was an in-person lab. And then it says submit here with your annotated micrographs. So you're going to be taking pictures in the visible body suite and then submitting those. So the first few times that you do this, you'll want to follow these directions. The directions are pretty thorough, telling you exactly what to click. So what you're going to do is you're going to access the visible body courseware. You're going to log in. You're going to find my class. So you will go to Hope Rindall, visible body, and anatomy and physiology, biology 242. So that's all going to be found here. So here's the lab. Okay, so it says to go to the Visible Body Anatomy and Physiology app. I will tell you that this is really meant to be done from a desktop computer, desktop laptop. If you're using it on tablets or on a cell phone, you might run into some problems. So you are required to have access to a laptop or a desktop for this course so that you're able to use this software successfully. Again, if you have any problems with that, feel free to contact the e-learning people at Skagit and they will see if they can help accommodate you. So right here, it says go to Hope Rindall's Biology 242 Summer 2025 in the Visible Body page, go to lab assignments, open endocrine system lab exercises, go through the module. Each link will help you answer the questions. So there's questions to answer for the lecture and there's questions to answer for the lab. So same thing, if I were you, I would just copy these questions into the submission box or into a Word document or a Google document, so then you could answer them. So we're going to go to visible body. When you go to visible body, you will see, you're going to search for courses and you're going to search for Hope Rindall's Biology 242 Summer 2025 Biology and 242. So you're going to find this, you're going to open it. And then this is going to be under lab exercises. If you just see this, you just need to click on the little plus minus and then everything will show up. So this first one is due, is the endocrine system lab exercise. And this might look kind of overwhelming and like it's a lot, but remember, this class is replacing like 4 to 6 hours of in-person lab every week. So there is a lot to do on this visible body platform. It looks overwhelming. A lot of these things you'll click through pretty quickly, but you should definitely plan on spending, for this class, they say, you know, however many credits is, I think it's about 4 hours per credit a week. So if this is a 5 credit class, you should be spending 20 hours a week on this class. That's just just the amount of time that it is going to take to be successful in this class. So if you're planning on just, fitting it in before and after work and, half an hour here, half an hour there, that is not going to cut it for this class. This is a very in-depth, high level class. So just plan on setting aside a lot of time for you to complete everything that this class entails. So here are all of the assignments for the endocrine system. And when you click on this, it is going to take you to this part. So right here, endocrine system overview. So I'm going to click on this. There's a few different pieces to this. When I hit play, it's going to start reading. You can to the advice. So it's basically going to read what's written over here. So you can listen to this. You can click through, go to the next one. When you're on something like this, you can use the cursor to drag this around to kind of orient yourself. For those of you that used Visible Body in 241 and you're familiar with this, you probably won't have any questions. If you've never used this software before, let me know if you have any questions and we can definitely meet to work through it. It just takes some time to play with it. When you click on this, it's going to show you the specific structure, kind of where it's located. And then you can use these buttons down here to fade the organ or the piece that it is, the piece that we're talking about here, the structure of the hypothalamus, fade others, show others. So here is just the hypothalamus all by itself. You can look at it just by itself, or you can show everything. So the software is very powerful for dissection. It might just take some time to play around with it and get more comfortable. But again, you can see all of the different structures here, the thyroid, the parathyroid, adrenal glands down here on the kidneys, and then the pancreas. So these are endocrine organs. And again, you just click through this. At the end of each of these sections, there will be a little quiz. These quizzes are not going to go into the grade book. They're kind of just to make sure that you're getting the main picture. A lot of the questions for the quizzes will be similar to the types of questions that are being asked here. So I would definitely copy and paste this, have these with you. So as you're going through the different parts, you can answer the questions. Again, this will seem overwhelming at the beginning. It just will take some getting used to, and then you will figure it out and let me know if you ever have any questions. The other part to the lab is the different structures that you're going to locate. So a photographic atlas. So it says, here's a list of anatomical structures. I want you to screenshot and submit along with your completed handout. So to do this, you'll go to your Visible Body courseware. You're going to go over here to My Apps. And when you click on My Apps, it's going to take you to this Visible Body suite, and you'll click Launch. And when you do, it's going to bring you to this page here. You'll click on Human Anatomy, and then it's going to show you everything. So you could look around in here and see all of this. I'm going to search for the first thing that I asked, I think, was the hypothalamus. So I'm just going to start to type up here, hypothalamus. Here it is. So here's the hypothalamus. You can scroll in and out to kind of zoom in and out. And you can take a picture of this, just take a screenshot, and then you're basically making an atlas for yourself to keep for all of these different structures. Here you can click on this little book and it will show you the definition, or you can click on this little stethoscope and it's going to show you the pathologies. So in this class in 242, we don't really talk a lot about the pathologies, but this will be so helpful, especially for those of you going into the nursing program. This is very, very helpful. So this is all here. Not something that you need to do for this class, but would be really relevant for the future. Okay, so that's the lab. Let's go back home. Okay, so we talked about lectures and active learning modules, labs, case study discussions. Again, I'm only going to require that we do 2 of these. These discussions you'll post in the discussion boards. Here is the case study. Here are the discussion questions that you're going to post. And then you'll explain one of these in your own words. So this first one isn't due for a few weeks. So I'll talk more about the case studies as we get closer to that time. The next thing are the weekly quizzes. And again, it's not really weekly because this quarter is a little bit abbreviated, but all of the due dates are here. They're on different days of the week. So it's not like they're always due on a Friday or something like that. The syllabus quiz, the first quiz is due tomorrow. So make sure to get that done. And then the endocrine quiz is due on the 6th when the lecture and the lab is also due. So you're going to do the lecture, the lab, and take a quiz for each of these sections. And they all are posted here. We're going to have 3 exams. The first exam will cover the endocrine system, the blood system, the cardiovascular system, these short answer tests. So your first exam will be in a little over 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. And that'll be over these first few units. It will be all online. Then the next one will be on August 14th. And then the final one will just be on the reproductive system and pregnancy. There are a few sections that don't have a lab. For example, there is lectures on the acid-base water electrolyte equilibrium. There's a lecture on this. There's also a lecture on pregnancy and development. There is not a lab on acid-base equilibrium electrolytes. There also is not a lab for pregnancy. There's a lab for the reproductive system, but not pregnancy. So not each of these sections have a lab, and I'll make sure to cover that as we get closer. So I think that's it for showing you around the Canvas site. I will communicate with announcements, so make sure that you have your announcements turned on and linked to whatever email you are going to be checking regularly. You can email me. You can send me a message through Canvas that will come to my Skagit email, or you can email me through my Skagit email that's posted on the syllabus. So I think that's it for showing around. I might stop recording and then I'm going to answer any questions. So I'm going to stop sharing.